your speech to the jury, and whose votes would you believe you would have received?
Oh, man. Okay, so it's been a few months, so I kind of lost my specific speech, but I could definitely tell you, like, in regards to, like, the points, I would have said, I entered the house alone with no pre-existing relationships, no pre-existing friendships, and I started the game off alone. People counted me out. People formed alliances without me, big alliances without me, and then in those big alliances, didn't really see me necessary, and just, like I said, counted me out, and I was able to plant seeds and create little fissures and get them to turn against each other. And yes, it came back to bite me, but I wasn't manipulative. I wasn't a snake. The truth set me free. Everything I said to everybody, and they knew it, was the truth. So the truth set me free. I stayed, and I was able to then not be a big threat. People continued to play the game like, oh yeah, that's Nicole, the one that we were all mad at, but, she's just little Nicole. We'll just keep her. She's not a threat. And I was able to continue navigating the game forward. When people tried to make big deals, I would tell the other group that was still happening, so they knew, oh, I'm going to watch out for you, and just keep people looking at each other. And then I was able, because I was likable, I was able to sync up with Mickey and Holly and Cliff, and luckily Mickey and Holly kept us safe, and vice versa, and made it further in the game. And then when it came to a point where, oh crap, me and Cliff were in trouble, I busted out wins. I won the double eviction, got out a huge threat of Christy. I won a veto that kept Cliff in the house. God knows what could have happened that week. And I won the final HOH to make it to finale. And I'm assuming if I was sitting in the final two chairs that I would have won the final part and evicted either Mickey or Holly. So I would have said I won the final part and broke up the showmance. And here I am. So I would have, spoke about how I was discredited and counted to decide. And I think almost every week I was the deciding vote. Every Thursday people were like, oh, it's going to come down to Nicole. But nobody saw that as like, oh, this is a problem. People thought it was like, oh yeah, that's Nicole. She'll make the right decision for the house. So like, people allowed me to make these big decisions but never saw me as a target. People saw me and Cliff as kind of working together, but they never put me next to him. They put Kat next to Cliff. They put Jess next to Cliff. But they never said, you know what, let's put Nicole and Cliff. So together, people counted us out. So ideally, I'd like to sit next to Cliff in that final two. But yeah, that's what I would argue had I been given the chance. Damn it, I screwed it up.
Don't worry, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, Nicole. You would have gotten, win or loss, you would have gotten some votes. I think you would have gotten Jess. I think you got a Kat. I think depending on, you would definitely gotten Cliff.
Yeah.
And but here's the thing. It would depend if either Jackson or Holly were not mad at each other. You would have gotten one of them. Or if they, in events. I think you would have gotten, I'm thinking Christy.
I could see that.
I do think Tommy as well.
Yeah.
Especially
Actually, I would argue that had, let's say, I won the final HOH and let's say evicted Mickey, I think that would have earned me a lot of respect in the jury, that I won and got rid of this comp beast that was winning everything. So I think that would have won a lot of people over to my side. If I won, or Mickey won and brought me, and we were sitting next to each other, I think it'd be a little bit harder, but I still think people would be like, damn, Nicole made it where she's sitting next to the comp beast Mickey, like, that's impressive. So I do think I would have persuaded people that were maybe on the fence, like, oh, who do I vote for, like the Christies and the Tommies. I think they'd be like, damn, Nicole did it. I really do.
And here's the thing with all of the votes. What I've noticed in the past couple of seasons, especially Paul's season and Tyler's season, there were vendettas. You had Mark, you had Paulie, you had Alex, you had Jason, you had Elena, especially Cody, and then even Davon and Natalie Nagarati. All of them had knives at Paul. And then, of course, you had Scotty, you had Sam, you had Bailey as well, so with Tyler.
No, it's very true. Very true.
If you would have made it, you would not have had any vendettas.
Yep. And that's what I used to look at the memory wall and think that, and I would say, Mickey is a comp beast, and Mickey has won so many things, but I think my platform, had I sat next to him, would have been like, it's also a social game. I didn't anger any of you. I didn't, like a couple of those people were very angry at Mickey at times. But I also think that we were also a house of fans. And we would often talk about how, Paul got screwed over and Paul got the short end of the stick, and that was a bitter jury, and that's not right, and game should respect game. And we said all season, contrary to, the fact that we fought a lot, we would always say, I respect you, I respect your game, I respect your game. And I do think that would be a little bit of trouble there, because I do think our household just respected game, and Mickey did play a phenomenal game, so that's where the trouble would come in.
And here's the thing, what I've noticed. Yes, there were fights. Yes, there was Taco Tuesday. Yes, there was Jackson versus Tommy. Yes, there was you versus Bella and Nick. But at the same time, and yes, there were some shade that Jackson and Jack threw and Mickey threw at Kemi, and also with Ovi. But at the same time, you guys all respected each other.
Yeah,
all of you respected each other, and I'm like, because there were some personal moments where that could have been seen, and you could have easily used some of Jackson and his mom. You could have used Jackson's mom against him. You could have used Cody's daughter against him. You could have used Tyler's dad against him. But you guys didn't.
Absolutely. I always say I attribute that so strongly to Christy, because Christy was the first HOH for 2 weeks. And I get it, the whole grateful thing, undeniable, whatever. That aside, in front of everybody, Christy would always say, I believe in love and light. And we're going to be a great cast, and we're going to come together, and we're going to respect each other. And regardless what was said behind the scenes, regardless of the fights that happened once a week, the rest of those times, I think there was a lot of I respect you, I'm not touching that. Or if a line was crossed, I know me and Bella got upset with each other, there was an apology. Me and Bella made up, we apologized, we talked it out, we hugged, I helped her pack, we were upset. So I think the game gets to you so much, and then we all were aware, maybe not all of us at all times, but we were aware there was a bigger picture, and we respected each other as human beings. At times it didn't come across when you're fighting and you're mad, but otherwise, I think there is a very strong love there, a very strong bond. It's functional, but it's there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I've noticed that Survivor has increased the finalists from 2 to 3. Do you think they should have increased the jury? Because I know that you would have gotten at least 5 votes if they made the pre-jury the jury.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I always say, people are oh, Nicole's so good at jury management. Nicole's good at jury management. And I would argue, not to toot my own horn, but I feel that's just me as a person, because whereas people be oh, she's going to be pre-jury, I'm not going to talk to her. Or, oh yeah, he's going out before the jury house, I'm not going to talk to him. I talk to everybody. That's just my nature. I want to be friends with people. I want to connect with people. And when I look at it, yes, David, Ovi, Kemi, Bella, maybe I wouldn't get her vote, depending on who I was next to. And Sam, I was very close to all, maybe not all, but most of them, and I do think I obviously would have had perhaps Ovi's vote in the end and Kemi's vote in the end. So I do wish everybody was included. And people say, oh yeah, but David was only in the game one day originally. Yeah, but first impressions matter. In a social experiment, how you treat somebody day one when you meet them is very important. So I do think the jury should be everybody.
I think so too. And also, they would definitely there have been some cases where, with Tyler last year, I read some articles, and Swaggy, of all the things that he would said, he would have actually turned the tide.
Wow.
He would have turned the tide said that he would have voted for Tyler, and same with Winston. They would have turned the tide.
I believe it. Because I honestly think, let's say, if Ovi was in that group, and Kemi was in that group, and Sam was in that group, I think there'd be more of a, yeah, but look, Nicole had nobody, and she had Cliff, but this final 3, it's just her. It's her and a showman. Look, and let's say I won. Oh, look, she took out a showman. Look what she did. The underdog who wasn't part of these big alliances, she made it there. And I think they would be the voice of the underdog. Yes, Cliff was advocating for me in that jury house, and Cliff is my guy, and he's the best, and I want to sit next to him in those final chairs more than anything. But I think if there was more underdogs in that jury, they would have rallied.
Absolutely. So we got jury, but however, you have this. I've known that Eric of Reality Recaps has told you this, and Taryn Armstrong has told you this of Rob as a podcast. There was a unanimous love for you.
Oh my God.
You had Danielle Reyes, one of the greatest runner-ups in Big Brother history, declared herself your godmother. You had Evil Dick and Paul, rivals on social media, agree that you vote for your support. You had Andy Herron come up. You had Andy Herron. You had people like Janelle. You had a lot of heavy hitters from the Big Brother community voice your opinion. And whose support were you surprised to receive, and which alums? Because I know you had the opportunity to meet a lot of the alumni in person. Who were you excited to meet, and who were happiest to meet you?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be completely honest, and I swear this is not like a political answer, but completely honest, I am so excited to meet each and every one of them. As a huge fan of the show, it is so surreal to meet at the finale when Swaggy and Bailey came up to me. Because I met them during the competition, but I was like, oh my gosh, you get to meet my mom and sisters. And then Tyler and Angela, who have been so immensely supportive, and they've reached out to me if I have any questions, if I need any help. I had them in my family, and Casey is amazing, and Dick reached out to me through when I was doing the podcast with Eric, Skyped, and Paul left a message, and all these people just, as a fan of the show, and I've watched them and revered them and respected them, to hear them say it back is very, very surreal. Because I'm just Nicole. I'm just a girl that lives at home, and I watch Big Brother, and I'm obsessed with Big Brother. And like I said, to hear people I respect say that they respect me, when in my life I haven't always had people like me or respect me, it's wow, it's amazing to hear. It's very uplifting, and that's my answer. All of them, every and any, I'm oh my gosh, you're talking to me. As a fan, it blows my mind. And when they're just so caring and willing to help me navigate this crazy post-BB journey, I'm just so thankful for it.
Now, once you got out of the house, there was a major surprise for you. A lot of pop culture fans got to see you on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen as a guest bartender, but you had not one, but two men who are extremely important to the American pop culture and to the news industry and the media industry, Dan Rather and Henry Winkler as his guests. So how did that opportunity come about?
Oh my gosh. So, I can't even remember how it began, because coming out of the house, it was just a whirlwind of all these people reaching out to me. And someone reached out and was like, hey, Nicole, we'd love to have you on Watch What Happens Live. And obviously I know Andy Cohen, so I'm not know him personally, but know of him. And I'm absolutely, hands down, no, what he wants me to do, or I'll be there, even if it's just the audience, I'm there. And then to arrive there, and I'm a huge, 50s, 60s, 70s buff, the Monkees, the Partridge Family, I love all that kind of stuff. And I went to school for English, so English and journalism is very important to me. So to actually get to meet, I got to meet Dan Rather and Henry Winkler, that it's very surreal. Again, I'm on this episode, granted, obviously I'm not being interviewed, I'm not, super important, but, to be on the same episode as them, I was literally standing there, what am I doing here? I'm not, I'm not on the same pedestal as them, it's such an honor to even be in their presence, I was awestruck the entire time with all three of them.
I would be too, because it's incredible to see two legends of that caliber, and Andy also has done a phenomenal job with building up his media empire as well. Yes. So I commend you completely. Now, guys, listeners, just to let you guys know, I did have the opportunity to meet Nicole when she, Nick, Tommy, and Christy teamed up for a New York meet and greet, and I got to applaud I believe it was I can't remember the name of the club. But I want to say, you guys were incredible with each and every fan.
Oh, thank you.
And you guys have had incredible fan interactions. That night was incredible. And one of my favorite moments that one of the event assistants took was a photo, the two photos